Welcome to the next part of the Dirt Rally 2 Telemetry Unleashed video series. In the last video I showed how to get the data from Dirt Rally 2 and output its raw values. This time we'll build some custom gauges to make that data more meaningful. Let's dive into some code. I have opened the Visual Studio C# project we started in the last video. We will extend it from there. Let's add a new folder to keep things a bit neater. I'll name it Gauges. We will add a user control to this folder and name it Speedo. We will paint the Speedo completely in code. To do this, we'll first add its paint event from the Property Events section. Before we add the code to paint it, let's add some properties. We'll add properties for speed, max speed, and if it's in kilometers per hour or miles per hour. I will make some room on our form to add the new control. I will move the labels from the previous demo down and then add the Speedo user control. Let's start simple. I will add some drawing code to our paint event. You will fill a circle in white and draw a black border around it. If we run the code, we'll see the start of our Speedo gauge. It does look a little pixelated though. I will set some properties to use better graphic quality settings. We will tell it to use anti-aliasing and high quality. Now when we run it again, you can see that it has drawn it a lot smoother. Let's add the needle to the speedometer. We'll get the center of the control and the radius to determine the length of the needle. Then we get the current angle from the speed property and do some circular trigonometry using pi to get the endpoint of the needle. Then we can draw it onto our gauge as just a simple line to test it. We need a way to animate it, so I'll add a scroll bar to the form. I'll set its maximum to 360 and large change to 1. Then double click to go to its change event and set the Speedo speed property to the scroll bar's value and invalidate the Speedo to make it repaint. Run the program and scroll the scroll bar. You can see the needles moving, but it is flickering a lot though. That is caused by the control clearing its background, then painting each part one bit at a time. Let's fix that. We will add some double buffering. We will use set styles to tell the control we are taking over all the painting. Override the onPaint background and comment it out so it doesn't clear the background separately. Now the background is not being cleared, we will do that ourselves in our paint code. To double buffer it, we'll remove the old graphics assignment and make a bitmap object the size of our control. We then make the graphics use the new bitmap instead. And finally, once we have painted the bitmap, we draw it onto the control all at once. Run it again, and using the scroll bar, you'll notice that it's drawing a lot better now. You have probably noticed the gauge starts on the right side and spins right around to the right side again. Not quite like a real Speedo, so let's fix that. The old code just used the speed for the angle. We'll replace that to use this formula. First we normalize the speed to be a value between 0 and 1, then we set the sweep range to 270 instead of the full 360 we had before, and rotate its starting point to begin down the bottom left. Now we are using the max speed, we better set a value for it. So back in the form constructor, set it to 360, the same as the scroll bar's max. Let's run it again and check how that worked. That's much better now. I want to make the gauge easily customizable, so I've created a new class with some display properties. so that you can easily set them to get different looks rather than updating the code. I'll update the draw code to use the new theme colours. Now you can set the theming code like this from the form constructor or from your own theme selector. I'll improve the needle some more, but rather than go through all the code, I'll add it bit by bit and you can watch it incrementally update. Let's make the border a bit more customizable. I will add an inner ring and allow setting the thickness of each of them. Next we will add the speed tick marks. We will set an outer and inner radius. In the theme class I added some configurable tick steps. I will start with the tick major step. This is where the big ticks and the numbers on the speedo will appear. For now I'll make the major step 30. As we are showing a max speed of 360, if I was to lower the numbers, they would all start to run into each other. I will add a for loop to step from 0 to the max speed at the major tick interval. To get the tick positions, we calculate the start and end points for each tick based on the current loop angle. Then we can draw the thicker major tick line. Now let's add the numbers. I'll create a font to draw them with, then calculate the position for the current number in the loop, and finally draw the current speed number at that position. Let's add some smaller tick marks in between the numbers. I'll calculate the radius for medium and small tick marks. Here we will loop again, but this time by the medium tick step. Make sure it's not in a major tick spot and draw a slightly smaller, thinner tick mark. Finally we'll do one more loop for the smaller tick marks. I think that's looking pretty good now. Time to add the legend label. It's just some simple text that is configurable by the theme. Another thing you'll often see is the red line part of the gauge, showing the upper limits that should not be sustained for too long. Now the beauty of making it all configurable by the themes is that you can style it in different ways, but also we want a tachometer. We can just set the max speed to 10 and theme it differently and use the same user control for the tacho. I'll update the max gauge values to more reasonable numbers and show you what's possible with some different themes. In the code, let's hook up the gauges to the telemetry data we set up in the last video. We can also add a simple label to show the current gear, and we'll hook that up in code as well. With all that extra painting, I'll update the listen for gain data method to run in a new thread and only paint again once the last paint has finished. Let's see that working in the game.
4, 3, 2, 1, go. Crest 30, crest and don't cut 3 right long tightens.
Awesome, that is working really well.
30, 3 right long, tightens over crest, 30.
We'll put the code up on our GitHub page. See the description below for a link. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying our videos.
Tightens into 3.
As we continue the series, next up we'll have a look at either custom scoreboards or maps. Thanks for watching.
Into 6 left over crest, opens long, 30.